It just felt like Margot and Greta put some kind of spell on me. Just with the script and the environment that they created and the whole atmosphere, and they just sort of conjured the Ken out of me.
Hi, Ken.
Hi, Barbie.
It was kind of channeling my mum in a lot of ways. There's just some things where I'm incredulous to see my mum react to things with such genuine, like, well, naivety, but she's very smart, but she's sometimes so, like, in a really sweet way, just like naive about things. And I thought, oh, that's very Barbie. Because Barbie's not meant to be aware of so many of these concepts that she discovers in the real world. But she's not meant to be vapid and ditzy either. But I don't know, I find something really like endearing and innocent about my mum, so I found it helpful to kind of channel that.
I thought I might stay over tonight.
Why?
Because we're girlfriend, boyfriend.
To do what?
Tapping into childhood, honestly. I played with Barbies. I have no shame in that. I was shamed as a child, but now as an adult, I can freely say that I loved playing with Barbies. I loved making them kiss, making them, you know, do this with their bodies, not knowing what that meant, and telling stories of Barbies, but like above all, tapping into Greta's vision of Barbies was essential. Like for her, it's like we weren't moving like dolls. We lived in Barbie Land. We were just people kind of living in this world.
Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
The Kens are such just boys. Like if you took a 6-year-old and snapped your fingers and immediately made him grow up to be this like semi-muscular dancing version of themselves, like that's exactly what Ken is. It's like, it's almost like, yeah, it's an adult human male, but with the mentality of like a 6-year-old.
I'll beach off with you any day, Ken. Anyone who wants to beach him off has to beach me off first. I will beach both of you off at the same time.
In like the, you know, the sweetest, like most naive possible way, where, you know, there's no like evil, there's no malice, but there's just him like pushing things over just because he thinks, you know, it's like something to do. And, you know, not even fully understanding the consequence of anything, which was just a really delicious dynamic to get to play.
Oh my God. It's just like amazing. Like you walk onto set and I saw them building the sets as we went, and you know, I knew what was coming, but it did not prepare me for the first moment where you see everything come together and everyone in costume, and everyone was like giddy. Every time you walked on that set, you were just like instantly happy. It's like a dopamine hit every time you're in Barbie Land. Never got old.
Yeah, it just sets an incredibly high bar once you walk on the set, because the level of detail and artistry and creativity and just, it's a huge swing. So it felt like it sort of set the tone for what was expected of us.
So cool.
You know, I was nervous my first day coming onto set because we were rehearsing like the big dance number and I felt ill-prepared. But as soon as I walked on, I was just like, whoa, this is absolutely incredible. And it took me back to being a kid again and wanting this dream house. And, you know, even though I hate pink, and it was just, you couldn't help but to be happy and to feel joy walking onto the set and be transported and transformed into a doll in that way. I was like, oh, okay, I feel like a Barbie. I can live within this. Okay, ladies, let's do this!
Yeah, everything you just said. With the exception of feeling ill-prepared for the dance because you rocked it. You really did. Yeah, it's something about pink, like the color pink. It's like the way that lavender is for your nose, right? It just kind of, it's aromatherapy, it soothes you. I feel like pink is, I mean, it was impossible to step onto that set and not feel just like deliriously happy. You know, it's like you've just walked into an entire world of cotton candy. You're like, okay, well, you know, I might have some problems. I might have had a bad day yesterday, or like didn't sleep well, or feeling tired. But the moment you step into that world, you're kind of like, you know, you just like a part of your inner child just starts to giggle in a way.
Absolutely. I mean, that's all Greta's vision and her thoughtfulness towards every single element. I mean, I remember walking into her pink room where there was every shade of pink was on the wall, and it was these pinks do not belong in Barbie Land, and these are the pinks, and that there was a reason for every single one of them, or, you know, that the size of the props had to be, you know, a certain size so that they were beautiful, but that they still felt artificial. You know, they made miniatures and filmed the miniatures. You're not looking at like digitally constructed Barbie Land, and you see it. You see the beauty of it on screen.
Don't.
You go first.
No, please.
You're like about to speak, and then you're
please.
like, no, she should talk first. No, go.
No,
I insist.
no. Okay, well, if you insist. It's all just so there's so many surprises. The whole film is so surprising. I couldn't predict or expect what was going to happen next, and it just becomes this unforgettable experience. It's like an experience more than it is just a film. It's there's so many layers to it, and it's I'm just excited for people to have that same experience. You know, I'm nervous to give them a map, because it's kind of set up like an amusement park where it makes you ride all the rides it wants you to ride. I said ride a lot. That's why you should talk first.
I think I found it surprising how emotional I felt reading it, and even when I watch it now and I know what's coming, there's still a couple lines that like choke me up every time I hear them. And I think the other unexpected thing is how much you go on a journey with Ken, because it's like starts off very much the joke that he was invented just as, you know, in like kind of the reverse of the Judeo-Christian way of like Adam and Eve. It's like he was invented just because she was there first. But then he goes on this whole journey, and that was unexpected and has a lot to say too.
For me, that Mattel let this slide, you know, this was like, oh, okay, this is really going in. But I was just, from page one, it was immediately hilarious. I knew that it was gonna be smart. It was coming from Greta, but just how ambitious it was in tackling so much. Not to give too much away, but like audiences will be surprised about, you know, kind of some of the larger societal issues that Greta's tackling, but not surprised if you know her as a filmmaker. And it's really just a fun, good movie. Like, I think, honestly, it is an instant classic, and that people are gonna rewatch this movie. Children who watch this movie will rewatch it as adults. It just has that kind of staying power, and it leaves something with you.
I think we live in a time where very little surprises us anymore. You know, we've had 100-odd years of filmmaking. It almost feels like every conceivable version of every movie has already been made. And in that kind of environment, Barbie is truly entirely unique and impossible to describe by comparing to other things, you know. I can't take credit for saying this. This is Ryan, actually, like right before we flew here. We were in the suites, and he said something to the effect of, you know, everyone's talking about AI, movies being written by AI algorithmically, and he was like, Barbie is the one movie that AI would never be able to produce in a million years, because nobody asked for it, nobody knows what it is. It's just, you have to witness it.
What was so surprising to me was how I felt after reading the script. Like, the script is funny, and it's irreverent, and it's intelligent, but it's also full of heart and meaning. And like, when I closed the script, I was like crying and laughing and kind of not quite sure what I was feeling. And like, that is not what I expected, you know, going into a script about Barbie. I think I was just really surprised that, you know, in the kind of packaging of Barbie, Greta had unlocked like a really layered experience.
Do you guys ever think about dying?